All right, so we are live. We'll give it a minute for people to slide in and join us. All right, so let's roll. So good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our afternoon webinar titled Protecting and Empowering Frontline Workers Using Augmented Reality. My name is Rob Romanowski. I am your host for today's webinar. And what we're going to do is we're going to run through a handful of slides regarding augmented reality solutions and what they are doing to simply protect and empower frontline workers in manufacturing today. So a statistic that I had seen from the company RealWear states in a presentation that I just watched yesterday, said that there are 1.2 billion frontline workers globally, and there is an estimated $50,000 an hour of industrial downtime from assembly lines and being down due to problems that could be fixed with augmented reality. And in addition to that, there is a cost of $31 million due to the shortage of skilled workers today. So in reality, frontline workers are not as experienced or as skilled as they used to be. And this can be due to several reasons, including the complexity of today's products and also the need for products to be updated almost continually to keep up with consumer demands. So that's what we're going to focus a little bit more on. We're going to focus on today. So a recent white paper by ARC Advisory Group called Augmented Reality the title of the white paper is called Augmented Reality for Manufacturing, Bringing Digital Transformation to Skilled Workers. Say that 10 times real fast. But the author of this white paper discusses how implementing augmented reality in manufacturing opened up new avenues for improving key performance indicators, especially in the areas of assembly and support and maintenance. So think for a minute, like what are the value drivers for your organization and what are you trying to achieve? So in conversations with our customers, they're telling us that the increased pressure in the consumer market means that operational excellence is more important than ever. And that means doing more by increasing the quality and the yield, being able to be more flexible and agile to the changing demands of their customers, but also at the same time, reducing the scrap, reducing worker downtime, increasing worker productivity, and also lowering production costs. So they're looking for ways to increase their competitive differentiation against their competition, against their peers, by being able to respond quicker to customer demands with a higher quality product at a lower cost. And the common denominator in achieving this seems to be maximizing the workforce and maximizing their productivity. Because when you allow the workforce to be more productive in a quicker manner and operate a lot more effectively, then you can run production lines more smoothly and then maximize the overall output of your products. And that all comes back in revenue. So I think the question is like, what's standing in the way of frontline worker productivity? And like, personally, I don't think that companies can rely on traditional copies of manuals or video work instructions for basic training methods and expect an effective, efficient workforce. It's really not how people learn today, especially younger workers. So you can't rely on the memory and skill and retention of operators and technicians to handle the increasing complexity and variation of products and product lines, especially when products are continually changing and being updated. So the more traditional methods of enabling frontline workers need to be productive so they can do their jobs well, but it really can't, the traditional methods cannot keep pace with the demands of today's technology environments. And in an LNS research, they uncovered a fact that 78% of manufacturers are using documents that are outdated or ineffective. So it's not just that they're using, these 2D documents, but also they're outdated. They're not updated like they should be. So I think the question is, what work instructions would you like to work from? How would you like to learn personally? Something like this binder, or would you rather work from something like this? What do you think is more effective? And this is why AR is becoming a compelling alternative to traditional printed materials and other types of communication. And it's because it provides an effective way of capturing and transferring tribal knowledge from experts to help train and empower new hires and your existing workforce. It makes it easier for those inexperienced workers to gain new knowledge, get their skill set up a lot quicker, and easily speed up the time to productivity, reducing errors at the same time. So if your workforce is more empowered and they know what they're doing and they're using these types of tools, it's good for them, and it's good for the company, and it's good for reducing any quality issues. So sorry, I lost my train of thought there for a second. So when you develop these types of manufacturing organizations develop these types of detailed work instructions that are in 3D and also interactive, especially for complex assemblies, you're delivering those instructions in an easily consumable way on demand, and it's in a way that people learn today. It's in a way that's a lot easier to be retained. And then if you want the worker to go through it again or use it on a daily basis, that's available. All right, this is fancy. So if you think about it, augmented reality is the most effective way to empower your frontline workers. And not only is it going to help them do their job accurately, but also safely. So just think about your job for a minute, what you do. When things are running smoothly, you're working hard, you're hitting your deadlines, you have a feeling of accomplishment. I mean, don't you feel good when that happens? So compare that to if you're working really hard, but you're stressed out because there's issues that are preventing you from reaching your deadlines and your objectives. How does that make you feel? I'm sure you've been through both of those scenarios. Now think about it for a minute. How do your workers feel on the shop floor, on the assembly line? How do you think they feel? If they're struggling, if they make mistakes, I'm sure they get frustrated and they want to do a good job. So now picture for a minute about your worker. How do you think they would feel about their job if the company that they work for invested in a leading edge technology, if they invested in augmented reality to help them do their job the most effective way possible, and also improving their safety? Because people are your most valued asset, and the more productive that they are, they're going to generate more revenue for the company. So 3HTI, we've been a platinum level reseller with PTC and have been with PTC for since 2002. So next year is going to be our 20-year anniversary, which is pretty exciting and pretty remarkable. And these solutions in the Vuforia suite are the leading edge for creating content and delivering solutions to industrial organizations that address the manufacturing skills gap, that help empower and protect frontline workers, which is the whole theme of this webinar. It's giving them the relevant information so that they can do their jobs safely and more effectively. So tools in the Vuforia suite allow you to allow direct remotes for this particular slide for remote service workers or on-site employees fix problems quickly and accurately. So you can capture expertise anywhere, anytime, using a HoloLens and using tools in the Vuforia suite to basically digitally transfer the tribal knowledge of your employees, transfer the tribal knowledge of skilled and experienced service workers, and your intellectual property to others so they can do their job effectively and quickly, especially if they're in a service mode, getting it done right the first time and getting it done, accurately. All right, let me pause this. So I'm going to go back for a minute, let that video run. Here we go. So this is actually a video from BAE Systems, and using a product called Expert Capture, which allows with the use of the HoloLens to create an assembly process. So these 3D work instructions give the technician a first-person view of the immersive step-by-step work instructions that are overlaid onto the real-world equipment, which improves safety and it provides a deeper level of understanding for these complex tasks. And these experiences include real-time data from Internet of Things that can be incorporated, resulting in a better, faster, and data-driven decisions that also improve uptime. And the one thing that you didn't see in the picture with the assembly worker was with the HoloLens, if there's a mistake, then I'll go back to that because nobody likes to look at a blank screen. If there's a mistake in the process, the light flashes red that they did something wrong and not to proceed any further, but it will also tell them what to do in going back and correcting that mistake. So you have the capability to have all this set up so that you can reduce errors and have a better performance overall in the assembly of your products and solutions. So for using training for augmented reality, once again, as I said earlier, this is the way that people want to learn today. It's a lot more effective in this digital age that we're in. So augmented reality training means that a visual and graphically rich active training experiences that aid in the knowledge of retention by providing a deeper level of understanding with interactive sequences. And you can also include real-time IoT data in this training process. So training can take place either in the context of the physical or out of context in the form of virtual products that trainees can walk around or view inside, whether it's a virtual reality or an assisted reality situation. So this is especially valuable when taking equipment out of production is not an option. When technicians need to travel to equipment or when products that are very large and immobile, this helps assist in that virtual reality training situation. And this will clearly help to get your workers up to speed a heck of a lot faster. So augmented reality remote assistance will connect a remote expert with a field service technician and frontline workers, both inside and outside of their organizations. So remote assistance will allow a technician experiencing unfamiliar issues to call a remote expert and get live over-the-shoulder support that combines live video, audio, and the ability for both the remote and the local participant to annotate their live shared view and mark up the real world environment with precise annotations that are anchored to the real world. This gives the remote worker the freedom to move around freely while the annotations will stay fixed. And it makes the expert as effective as if they were on site with the worker. So this reduces travel costs, and with a remote worker, these problems are resolved quickly. So this is an example of that remote assistance solution, which is titled as Vuforia Chalk. So you have the guy on the right who's directing the gal on the left, and he's able to highlight through the phone or the iPad exactly what controls to engage and use, and you can also tell which ones not to. So I'm going to go right to some case studies. So we saw this video earlier, which was from BAE Systems. And before you think, well, I'm not as big as BAE Systems. Well, I have some other case studies that if you're a smaller organization than BAE, that are pretty applicable. So they had an issue with having instructions captured on paper or on a PDF or on glass. So new shift workers were getting up to speed a lot slower, and they were making mistakes and putting together these batteries that they make for the transportation industry, for buses and trains. So BAE used Vuforia Studio to create an immersive mixed reality experience for the Microsoft HoloLens. And you can also use this for RealWear as well. So they put together this experience, and the outcomes were they reduced training time and increased productivity while maintaining a zero defect quality standard. So they basically had no defects through the process. 50% improvement in assembly and 30% improvement in training. And that definitely relates to a cost savings. So I'm going to go through two more examples. This was specifically for a mining and construction company that, through using the Vuforia suite of tools, they were able to reduce scrap and rework, labor costs, reduce a travel budget, and increasing worker productivity. So on the right, actually going right here, sorry, kind of got ahead of myself. Improving training and working instructions, on-site support and service calls, addressing an issue between the gap between training and doing the tasks, getting the knowledge from experienced workers to newer workers, taking that tribal knowledge here from your workforce, digitizing it and making it available to new employees. This is what they experienced: 25% less scrap and rework, less scrap, 20% less rework. Assembly time decreased by 15%, 27% less travel for remote support, and a 20% increase in quality. And all this ended up into a $4 million savings. For a high-tech manufacturer looking to reduce product returns, reducing scrap, reducing labor costs, and increasing the on-time delivery. So they were struggling with getting their products on time and meeting deadlines. So they were currently using their manual documentation. They switched to more of a 3D digital work instructions. They had training. They were shadowing employees. They were able to then implement the Vuforia suite to make those employees more effective in training. Being better reactive and more nimble to high and low demands. And they had a paper-based assembly instruction manual. So in changing all this led to 25% returns, 15% less scrap, less shadowing in their training, because using the Vuforia tools, they were able to do training more effectively, and they cut their training time in half. And they had a 1% increase in revenue. So that 1% increase in revenue led to $1.19 million in additional revenue. Who couldn't use an extra million, right? So all these things added up to over a $2.4 million increase in revenue and productivity. And this is where we come in. It's not, hey, you need to buy this or you need to buy that and spend money. It's, what is your problem and where can you get the best return on the investment regarding these solutions? Do they make sense? And so to my next slide, if you think they do and you want to learn more about it, feel free to contact us at 3HTI. You can email us at info@3hti.com or call us at 324-3484, which is 3HTI. Or you can respond to the email that was sent to you to attend this webinar. Those emails come back to me. So I hope you found this overview informative. And if you'd like more information, we can have a discovery session for probably about 60 minutes to dive into what some of the, what's holding you back from a production standpoint, what problems your employees, your workers are facing, and figuring out the best way to address those problems, and showing you a return on investment up front by implementing these tools, so that the investment, you will also see that return on the investment, like with the examples that I showed you. So I'd like to thank everybody for being on today. That's going to conclude our webinar. I am going to have this recording uploaded onto our YouTube page very soon, and I will send you the link to that so you can rewatch this at your leisure. And I hope you found this informative and helpful. So thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day. And once again, if you need anything, be sure to contact us. Thanks.